Good day, everybody. It's Channel Crusher back on Lane PokeTuber after a long break. I apologize, but I was very busy at that time. So here we are back again with something that we often do here, another deck profile. But this time it's not so crazy a deck here. It's Metagross GX. I'm not like the first one to make this deck or anything, but yep, I'm just gonna show it to you guys because I feel that this deck is not been noticed enough. It's actually really strong, but I mean there are a few players that succeeded with it, but people aren't taking note. I believe this should be a meta deck just like Garbodor and stuff, but no one's really noticing it enough. So our Pokemon lineup, oh yeah, and also today I'm gonna be trying things a little bit differently. I'm gonna do the profile slightly differently, like the way I lay out the cards. So after you watch the video, feel free to comment on whether you like this way or you prefer the old one where I just show you everything at the end of the video. I mean just go through everything, put them down so it's always on screen. Okay, so we have 4 copies of Beldum, 3 copies of Metang, and 4 copies of Metagross GX here. Okay, 3 copies of Metang. We do use rare candies here, so that's why we only have 3, not 4. But then again, you're asking if you have rare candies, why do you need 3 Metangs? Well, it's a simple answer. Garbodor, you don't really want to play your items against Garbodor, so you have Metang to do that. Number 2, Plumes, they literally stop you from playing your rare candies, so Metang is here as a backup. Some players actually run 4, but I stick with 3. Then, of course, Beldum. It doesn't really do much. It's just Beldum. But the really nice thing is that it's got only 1 retreat cost, while Metang and Metagross is 3 retreat cost. So it can help sometimes in the early game stage when you need to run away with your Beldums. So there's that. And our main attacker, Metagross GX. Let's see what it can do. It's got 250 HP, very bulky. It has an ability called Geotech System. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may attach a Psychic or Metal Energy card from your discard pile to your active Pokemon. Giga Hammer, 2 metals, 1 colorless, 150, and you can't use Giga Hammer during your next turn. Algorithm GX, search 1 colorless, search your deck for up to 5 cards and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So, Metagross GX is a very, at first look, it looks Geotech System is a nice move, but there are just many other ways to accelerate energy, and it's not worth doing. And Giga Hammer is a horrible attack. I mean, look, Lapras GX is better. Lapras GX is hitting for 160, and it's a basic GX. This is stage 2. It's got to evolve up a long way, so it could be very troublesome to set up, but with Metangs and with your rare candy, it's really not hard to get out 3 Metagross GX. I mean, usually you need at least 2. So, Metagross GX. Now you're wondering, Channel Crusher, you've been criticizing Metagross GX for the last 30 seconds. So why are you building a deck with it? Well, that's because actually, Giga Hammer 3 energies. I know it's quite a lot. It seems quite a lot, but no, actually, with Geotech System, it isn't much. If you have 2 Metagrosses in play, all you need to do is double Geotech System, hand attach, and can Giga Hammer. And next turn, what are you going to do? You're going to discard all 3 energies, pay your hard 3 retreat cost there, switch to your other Metagross, and double Geotech System, hand attach. Or if you get a 3rd Metagross, triple Geotech System, and it's all done. So then you're just going to keep going on, attacking, and well, guess what? It's 250 HP and resistance to Psychic, weakness to Fire, but Volcanion isn't as popular as it used to be, so just ignore that for now because let's not just tell Volcanions to come and start getting more play. So yeah, I don't like Volcanion. I never liked Volcanion. I always play metal decks like Scizor. So anyways, back to the topic. Resistance to Psychic, as I mentioned, well, it's actually very good, especially against Garbodor, because it can cause them a lot of trouble, even in the early game stage when there's a Beldum, and it's fighting a Trubbish. The Trubbish tries to acid spray you but can't damage you, something like that. It could be, the resistance here is very annoying, just trust me about that. So, and there's a 250 HP, so you're never going to get one-shotted, pretty much. You just retreat, discard all that energy, and play. a max potion and heal off all the damage there, and you have another Metagross ready to go. It's just so beautiful, guys. I love it so much. So that's our Metagross lineup there. And of course, that can't be it. We also have one copy of Alolan Vulpix. No, there's no Alolan Ninetales GX here. Alolan Vulpix here is really here just for Beacon. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I know you're thinking like, are you really gonna waste one attack just to search up some Pokemon? Well, in the early game stage, your attacks aren't really gonna count as much. It's just like 20 damage, Ram 20, Core Beam 80, but it's hard to set up. So Alolan Vulpix can really help you set up a lot. I know it seems like, to some it may seem an absurd idea because it's like wasting one attack just to search up some stuff that your opponent's probably gonna play at end. But it's worth it. Trust me, people, it's worth it. But it's not every game they're gonna pull out your Alolan Vulpix to use, but very often you're gonna need Alolan Vulpix to set up your game. And yes, you're wondering, well, if that's the case, then why are you running one copy? Well, that's because one is enough. Because Beldum's retreat cost, as I mentioned earlier, is 1. So you can easily retreat your Beldums early game to your Alolan Vulpix, and Beacon does not have an energy cost, so you just attack for free. And of course, we have 2 copies of Tapu Lele. Oops, there was a trainer card stuck to it. Okay, 2 copies of Tapu Lele here. Well, you know, bench, Wonder Tag, search up a supporter. This is to keep your game going. Make sure you're never dead drawing. Hopefully you're never dead drawing. And of course, the attack Energy Drive actually synergizes with Geotech system. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance, sadly. But anyways, this means like, okay, let's say like in the late game stage, if you want to, you could like maybe get like 3 Metagrosses in play. You know what, I'm going to hand attach Geotech system, Geotech system, Geotech system, and I'm going to Energy Drive for a lot of damage. So Tapu Lele's attack there synergizes with the deck, and its ability synergizes with everything in the game. So that is our Pokemon lineup. Pretty simple here, just 11, 12, 13, 14. Quite a small amount for like a stage 2 deck. Anyways, we're moving on to our supporters now, guys. We have 4 copies of Sycamore. Discard your hand, draw 7. Yep, pretty standard. 4 copies of N. Both players shuffle your hand back into the deck and draw 1 for each remaining prize. Also pretty standard. We have 1 copy of Kukui, 1 copy of Lysander, and 1 copy of Hexmania. Okay, the Lysander, pretty standard. Pull out something from the bench so you can hit it or just leave it there. Hexmania. Until the end of your opponent's deck's turn, each Pokemon in play, in each player's hand and in each player's discard pile has no abilities. It's just going to shut down all abilities. It can do a lot of things. I know you are playing an ability-dependent deck with your Geotech system here, but you can always use Geotech systems and then Hex. Keep that in mind. This helps against Greninja Breaks, Deciduous Plumes, Tapu Koko, a load of stuff. And of course, there's a Kukui that you're wondering, like, what's Kukui doing here? Why? It's not necessary for the deck. True, but the thing is, the 20 extra damage means a KO on a Greninja Break. Because Greninja Break's actually a matchup I've been kind of like worrying about recently. It's like hard for Metagross because they cannot one-shot the Greninja Break. And Greninja Break only gives 1 prize, so... I mean, it's like trouble for both players because you run max potions. But you still need like the advantage with that Kukui. I know there's Hexmania, but it's not really enough. I've been testing. Okay, that's it for our supporter lineup, guys. It's items now. We have 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Just standard stuff to search up your Pokemon. Whether it be Metagross, Metang, Beldum, Tapu Lele's. 4 copies of Versus Seekers. Pretty standard. Well, actually, some people run 3 now, but I'm sticking with 4 because I really need to pull out my Lysander, my Hexmaniac, my Kukui, because I only run 1 Lysander. You could fit in 1 more if you could, but I'm just used to running 1. We also have 2 copies of Trainer Mail. I know 2 is slightly less, but it still works. And, well, we really need it here because we're running rare candies. We need to make sure you can get out the rare candies at the right time. Rare candy, I mean, we know what it does. You play a rare candy, one of your basic Pokemon evolves immediately into a stage 2 from your hand. So that's that. This for so that you can get your Metagross GX a lot faster. Also, 2 copies of Field Blower. Garbodor, the Breakpoint Garbodor can like cause quite a lot of problems here, so you need Field Blower to remove that, or some choice bands that could that could be doing some extra damage. Just anything that you don't want in play, just throw it away with your, blow it away with your field blower. Yeah. And of course, we have 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher. Alright, this is an interesting choice. Not all Metagross players play 2 Rescue Stretcher here. It's because, well, I'm running a stage 2 deck. I need to set up 3 Metagross GX. It's not an easy job. So I will end up discarding like 1 or 2 of the Pokemon. Then I'm going to grab them back with my Rescue Stretcher. No Super Rod because we want energies in the discard pile so we can Geotech system back. I mean, there are times when Super Rod is useful, but it's just not really worth it. Also, like early game, I like to discard like 1 Metagross GX with an Ultra Ball along with maybe an energy card or something. So then like if I discard 1, then later on I can play a Rescue Stretcher, pull it back for like the immediate rare candy or something. Because if I discard 1, then like 2 Rescue Stretchers are giving me access to this one Metagross. There's like more chance that I can get it out. Anyways, we also have, as I was mentioning, 3 copies of Max Potion. Heal off a lot of damage and cause your opponent trouble because they need attack all over again. And finally, we have 4 copies of Choice Band for the extra damage. And yes, because 150 plus the 30 damage for the Choice Band is 180, and that's a KO on a load of basic GXs like Drampa, Tauros, all that stuff. And you're wondering, why 4? 3 is enough, right? Well, the truth is here, because you're constantly switching around with your Metagross while retreating, you're going to need like multiple Choice Bands at places sometimes, so 4 is the ideal number for this deck. That's all for our items. We're running 8, 10, 13, 15, 17, 20, 24 items. It's still kind of like it's still like heavy on items, I guess. I mean, so are all the decks I build. Even like the Decidueye, I try to build the Decidueye. A friend of mine managed to put in 12 items. I put in like 16 or something. It's quite sad how I always play items, especially nowadays. For stadiums, we have 2 copies of Parallel City here. One side reduces the damage of grass, fire, or water Pokemon by 20. Useful against Greninja, but this side is also useful against Greninja because basically the player on this side only gets 3 benched Pokemon. So, I mean, this can help in a lot of matchups. Not a lot of people play these Parallel Cities that much anymore. So just play it in with this side facing your opponent, and they are locked down to 3 bench, and it's hard for them to set up anything. Well, you gotta play it at the right time, of course. And now for our energy lineup. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 metal energies here. Usually, okay, and 1 psychic energy. That makes 9 energy in the whole deck, people. Usually, people will like run 1 more energy, whether it be a metal one or a psychic one. So now, of course, you're wondering why psychic and why do I have slightly lesser energy than other people. That's because, I mean, the advantage of having 1 more energy is that it's easier to set up your game, get all the energies that you need out at the right places at the right time, which is early game. With this slightly smaller energy lineup, it's kind of harder, but I get more space for other things, so that's why I only run 9 here, while others run 10. And the psychic energy, I'm not the only one that runs this. Some people actually run 2 psychic energies. And why is psychic energy there? It's because Tapu Lele's Tapu Cure. You gotta heal all damage for 1 psychic energy from 2 of your bench Pokemon. So like, imagine 2 heavily damaged Metagross GXs. You pull out your Tapu Lele, you Geotech system 1 psychic on, and you decide to use Tapu Cure and heal them all off. This is gonna be very painful for your opponent. Very painful indeed. I mean, it's not every game you want to pull this off, but it's just, if it happens that you need to pull it off, then just go ahead, it's easy. So, that is our energy lineup. And you're wondering, why am I running no float stones or like switch or anything like that? It's because Geotech system can just lump you all the energies you need to retreat, then you can just retreat, so you're never stuck. That's also a nice thing about this deck. So, well, that's it for today, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time.